Hi guys, so okay, we're back then. Talking about these connectors and that they have a different structure, I was telling you that in this case, these connectors, we need kind of to divide the two sentences, cause and effect. So first we put the cause, for example, I studied all night. Then we separate it with a period, and then I put the connector consequently, then I need a comma, and then the result. Consequently, what was the consequence of studying all night? Well, I learned everything. The same happens with therefore. I was not doing well in English, so what was the result? Well, therefore, I decided to hire a tutor. Then we have thus. Thus is a little bit different. You don't need the period all the time. You can use it or not depending on how linked you want your sentence. For example, in this case, we use another connector and it helps us to have like a nice long sentence. For example, I realized I needed to learn English and thus I started my classes. For example, you can also say I realized I needed to learn English, period, thus, comma, I started my classes. That's basically going to depend on the structure that you have previously. I mean, how long are the other sentences? What kind of sentence you want? But you can use both with thus. Thus is a little bit flexible. It's also kind of formal. Actually, all the connectors in this page are more formal than the previous one. So they are not so commonly used in oral speech, but mostly in written English or in very, very super serious situations. Like you're talking to someone like, that you have a lot of respect of, or you're doing like a conference and a speech or something, right? Or you want to emphasize something. The same with hands. So I injured my leg. So what was the result? Period. Hands, comma, I'm unable to work. Okay? So a little bit more formal. Use them carefully. Use them in writing particularly. You have a wide variety so you don't repeat the same one over and over. And then let's go with the last one. These connectors, they have the particularity that they are not followed by a sentence. Remember, at the beginning of this explanation, I told you what's the difference between a phrase and a sentence. Do you remember that? Yes? Were you paying attention? No? I'll repeat it again. A sentence is formed by a subject and a verb, and then maybe a complement, not necessarily. But what is necessary to make a sentence is a subject and a verb. A phrase doesn't have all these three elements. In this case, a noun phrase, it's a noun maybe with an adjective and maybe with an article or a quantifier, but no verb. So in this case, these connectors that we have right here in this page, these are connectors that are followed by a noun phrase. That is no verb, only a noun, only a thing, or only a situation, okay? So for example, the classes are online due to only the thing, only the object. What's the thing? The pandemic. The classes are online due to the pandemic, for example. The same with because of. I caught, not because of. I caught a cold. What was the reason? Because of the rain. We don't need a verb. Not because of it was raining or because, I don't know, but only the thing. Because of, what was the thing that caused the cold? Well, the rain. The same with owing to. You probably know owing to from fifth semester, I think. But anyway, I remind it to you. He can walk well owing to a childhood injury. If you notice any of these expressions, the pandemic, the rain, a childhood injury, contain a verb. Okay, so they are not sentences, they are only phrases. So that is the particularity that you need when you use the connectors in this page. Okay, so keep your eyes open. Remember I mean, why do I need to learn the connectors? If all of the connectors mean because, why cannot use because? Because remember that your style in writing depends a good deal on variety. Variety of vocabulary, variety of structures. If you give me like a very simple writing or a very simple speaking with the same structures, with the same word over and over, with the same connector over and over, with phrases that are the same one after the other, that is more like a list than a paragraph, that is not going to look as well and as if you have a paragraph with different structures, with different connectors, with different synonyms, and that looks way better, that makes you sound better, more advanced, like you are more in control, you are more fluent of the language. Okay, so that's the reason why it's important to learn all those, how to express these relationships, how to use different structures in our normal language. Okay, well, I hope it has been clear. So now it's your turn to use them, to make some examples. Let me know if there is something else I can do for you to help you learn them. Okay, see you guys.